Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater. Out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Gone! Grant Fournier! Two-run shot to right!
Where dreams are made, South Jersey's unofficial baseball championship for the past 51 years kicks off this afternoon at Mullica Hill at Clearview Regional High School for a star-studded matchup between two teams that are heavily on the rise. It's the Cinnaminson Pirates and the Clearview Pioneers. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined on the production by Donna Wilkins today here in the ranging outfield of Gloucester County, as Tyler Dell will get the start for Clearview, and Anthony Alessandroni, another pitcher DH two-way, will get the start for Cinnaminson. These are two teams that have had wildly similar but yet different starts to the season. Clearview 8-4 in the very crowded Tri-County Royal Division. They're coming off their 2 wins over GCIT and Triton. Meanwhile, Cinnaminson 11-5 with a losing record in their BCSL Liberty Division. They have won 5 of their last 6, but their 5-game winning streak was snapped with a loss to Delran yesterday. We join you here in the outfield as we'll flip over to the main board, first introducing our Clearview starting pitcher, Tyler Dell. He's a true two-way. Some teams have two-way players out of necessity. Clearview has Tyler Dell as a commodity. He's got a 0.75 ERA with 18 Ks this year and only 2 earned runs, in addition to just a few walks. He has kept their opponents at bay, and he looks to do that again in the first round of the Diamond Classic, the 51st annual, here from Clearview. The game will start about a half hour late because of travel issues with Cinnaminson. They had a bad 295 accident that they had to get through, and the first pitch of the ball game is lined out towards center field. However, it's caught at short. First out of the ball game on the first pitch, wasting no time. And Clearview's got 1 pitch and 1 out. Here's the starting lineup for Cinnaminson this afternoon, brought to you by Harper Driving School. For the Pirates, you just saw Cooper Hamill, the catcher. Anthony Alessandroni is up now at the DH spot. Noah Harvey, the Richmond commit, is the shortstop. Gideon Crisp is the first baseman. Sophomore Jacob DeJoseph is the third baseman. Swing and a miss there. Gavin Bobrek is the right fielder in the 6th spot. Jude Zarnowski is the left fielder in the 7th spot. Luke Rittler at second base. And there was a lineup change for today. Dylan McAndrews is the center fielder, batting 9th. That one's fouled back. It's 0-2 very quickly here. Dell working with Alessandroni after a first pitch pop out to short. That's lined out to right center field. That will get down into the right center field gap. It'll be picked up. Alessandroni on his horse to second base. The throw does not beat him as it's cut off at second base. And a 1-out double for Alessandroni. Alessandroni picks up a 2-bagger. And the pitcher helps his own cause here early in the first inning. This game already seems like it will be filled with offense. Wind blowing straight out to center field this afternoon. In addition to some very fair weather here. 78 degrees at first pitch. The wind making it a little bit cooler, but an absolutely beautiful day for baseball. Here is Harvey, the shortstop. First pitch grounded to third. That trickles into left field for a base hit. It'll be picked up as Alessandroni's slide into third is safe. Chase Cardiel came up with it, as that will be a base hit for Harvey. And very quickly, Cinnaminson has runners on the corners here with 1 away. Just good pieces of hitting here. I mean, they are not wasting any time. First pitch to Cooper Hamill was a pop out. Alessandroni only needed 3. And then what happened after that? First pitch, and Harvey drove it out to left. So bring up the first baseman, Gideon Crisp. Clearview has been used to high offense games before. Earlier this week, they beat GCIT by a score of 19-11. And beat Triton yesterday 8-3. Popped up, back behind the plate. It is out of play into the bog. 0-1. Crisp, the first baseman, looking to attack Clearview's defensive efforts here early. And the 0-1 to Crisp. Squares up to bunt, misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners on the corners, Cinnaminson looking for their first run. Throw back to first, not in time. Harvey, the runner on first, a commit to Richmond, home of the Spiders, the Division I program in Virginia. Meanwhile, Allison Droney, the runner on third. Oh! Diving catch, Tyler Dell! Oh my goodness! He propelled straight off the mound and made the catch. Tyler Dell with a spectacular play. And Crisp is retired for the second out. You do not get much better than that. Held the runners. And now that one's outside to Joseph. Joseph, the number 5 hitter. They will say yes. They say he goes around on the check swing. And here we go. Runners on the corners here. And the pitch. Breaking ball, strike called, 2 strikes now. One ball, 2 strikes. Did not go. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch to Joseph is skied out towards first base. Jurgen going over, does not get there. Just missed out of play, still 2-2. Next batter for Cinnaminson, if the inning continues with 2 outs, will be the freshman Bobrek. Here's the 2-2. Up and in. So the count's full as to Joseph working Tyler Dell out here. First 3 for Clearview will, in the bottom of the first, will be Sawyer Wood, the shortstop, Chase Gardillo, the left fielder, and Braden Reeder, the third baseman, committed to Jefferson. Another one foul down the third base line off the Clearview dugout. There's strike three. Tyler Dell strikes him out looking, and a hanging curveball knocks DeJoseph out of the at-bat. 2 runners get on for the Pirates, but all are left stranded. Sawyer Wood leads us off for the Pioneers in the bottom half of the first. Anthony Alessandroni, the commit to Rutgers Camden, is the pitcher here for the for the Pirates in the bottom half of the first. Let's introduce the Clearview Pioneers. Starting lineup for them today. Starting off with Sawyer Wood, the shortstop. Chase Cardiel is the left fielder. You've got Braden Reeder to commit to Jefferson at third base. Tyler Dell is the pitcher in DH. Ryan Batista is the center fielder. Alex Moisenberger is the catcher, batting sixth. Connor O'Mara is the right fielder. Pat Jurgen in the 8th spot at first base. And Connor Zwan is the second baseman, leading out the order. Looks like a strike called there to Wood. Cinnaminson got 2 runners on in the top of the first, failed to score. And that one's laced foul. Should be 0-2 here. Talked about before, Tyler Dell just so good in those situations. That one's up and away. 1-2. One-two to Wood. Outside. Wood, the shortstop in today's contest. Didn't have time to bring up proper stats and introductions in the top of the first, but we'll get on top of that there as that one's down. Wood, the sophomore, now works the count full. He's a .342 hitter as a sophomore. 3 RBIs, has a homer this year, 13 for 38. And a swing and a miss. Alessandroni picks up the strikeout, his first of the day. And that's the first out. Here's Cardiel. Let's take a look at Anthony Alessandroni's pitching stats for the season. We didn't get a chance to preview that just before the opening here. Again, Alessandroni, he's a true two-way. A .263 career hitter, but this year, 27 1/3 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts, 2.3 ERA. This is his 6th appearance of the year. Strike called. Alessandroni working very quickly here. Alessandroni has thrown 2 complete games this year. A 1-hit shutout over Penn Saucon on March 26th. And then another one over Del Rand back on April the 14th. Del Rand walked off Cinnaminson 4-3. Sorry about that, I don't know what that was. Something hit something. Ow, that's a ground ball out to third. Throw across is in time. 2 down. Something hit my ear or something. Something with the soundboard. So apologies for any technical difficulties. This will be Reeder now. A strikeout and a chopper to third have been the first 2 outs of the first. Outside 1-0. Here at the 51st Annual Diamond Classic. Last year was a star-studded final between Cherry Hill West and Delsea, with West hoisting the banner at the end of the year. West seeded 27th. going into this year's tournament, they had a big senior class with the count 2-0. I mean, when you lose an Alabama commit in John Young Jr. and you lose the South Jersey Pitcher of the Year in Ryder Garino, in addition to other assets, I mean, they've still got Grant Fournier there, and they're still doing very well. That'll be ball 4 to Reeder. And he'll set the stage for Tyler Dell. If you remember, Dell homered in the opening day win over Williamstown, 14-1.
The wind is attacking us today.
Yeah, it very much is. And listen, we've got wind gusts of up over 20 miles an hour today. This should be very good for a guy like Dell, who has rocketed out of the ballpark a couple times this year. 5 career home runs, had his 5th, as we mentioned, in Williamstown, or rather in the Williamstown opening day. 14-1 win for Clearview. 261 hitter this year for Dell, 6 for 23. 7 walks and a 478 slugging percentage. Here's the pitch. Two-seamer, misses at the letters, 1-0. Some of the updates we have on out-of-town scoreboards in the Diamond Classic. Haddonfield leads Shallock 6-1. That looks like that's going to be an upset, and it looks like for Shallock that would be their first loss of the year. Egg Harbor Township leads Audubon 5-1 in the top of the 3rd. And it looks like Cherry Hill West, actually Gloucester Catholic did just beat Cherry Hill West 3-0 in the first round. The weird part about the tournament this year, as the count is 2-0 to Dell, is that it is not smoothly seeded from 1 to 32. It's a 32-team tournament, but the number 1 seed, Gloucester Catholic, is playing the number 27 seed, Cherry Hill West. Now, throw over to first not in time. The reasoning that we were given behind it was that it is a way to get fairer matchups, and teams are randomly sorted into pods of 8. Though they're going to call a balk on the pitcher, and the runner is going to get down to second base. So the runner is gifted second base automatically, and he'll advance. And now Alex Injian's going to come out and try to alleviate the situation by any means. I'm not sure what happened there. You know, the umpire was pointing at first base, so I wonder if it was an interference call and not a balk on the pickoff move, because that does put a Clearview runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 1st. If I'm being quite honest, I'm not exactly sure, but he will go back to the dugout without any trouble, and the runner is Reeder at second base. So back-to-back pickoff booth for Allison Droney. Now he has to face the second base batter. Now it's Tyler Dell. 3 balls, 1 strike. You have to imagine if there's a deep fly ball, I honestly don't think these Cinnaminson outfielders are playing deep enough. Not going to matter, though, as Dell reaches on a free pass. Back-to-back for Allison Droney. That'll bring up the number 5 man, Ryan Batista. Batista out of the left-handed batter's box. Looking for a little leverage here in the bottom of the 1st. First pitch, inside. Strike called, 1-1. Cinnaminson batted 5 in the top of the 1st inning, did not score. 6, 7, and 8. Bobrek, Zarnowski, and Rittler will bat. Got jammed in on the hands. Harvey's got it. Throw to first is in time. And 2 rocky first innings, both yield a through 1 here at Clearview. No score in the first round of the 51st Joe Hartman Diamond Classic. here at Clearview Regional. First inning gone here in the 51st Annual Diamond Classic, as Tyler Dell getting ready to go here in the top half of the second. 6, 7, and 8 due up, starting with Gavin Bobrek, the freshman, for Cinnaminson. As we said, Cinnaminson 11-5 going into this season. They are 2-4 in the BCSL Liberty. They lost yesterday to Del Ran on a walk-off 4-3. But just talking with Alex Ingian before the game, they said, hey, it doesn't matter that we got here late. It doesn't matter what they may think. We have to put our head down and we have to work. So technically in this game, according to the kind of convoluted seating we didn't really have a chance to get into in the first, the Clearview Pioneers are the 11 seed in this tournament, and Cinnaminson is the 22 seed, which I have said very publicly that I am not a fan of how this tournament has been seeded. I think it is absolutely too much reinventing the wheel. That one is called a strike, 0-1 to Bobrek. There's no reason in any logical mind that a 32-team tournament should be seeded any other way than the best team is at 1 and the worst team is 32. Because if you look at the bracket, on one side is the 1, 2, 3, and 5 seed. If every matchup goes according to plan with no upsets, the 1 versus 2 game will be in the quarterfinals. That's not how a tournament should be run. I mean, even travel ball doesn't reinvent the wheel that much. I'm completely fine with 70-plus coaches voting in the poll. I'm good with that. I believe that everybody should have a seat at the table. But I think that this tournament, you know, whether you like the fact that it's 32 teams or not, I personally think it should be 16, as it was for a good 10, 15 years before they expanded it. But I can live with 32 if you're at least going to run a conventional 32-team tournament. Dell picks up his second strikeout at the hands of Bobrek, and this will bring up Zarnowski. So here is Zarnowski. Jude Zarnowski, the left fielder in today's contest. No score. Somehow no score. Really a bit surprised by that, as here's a dribbler over the middle, picked up. Oh, it goes off the glove of Swan into center field. That'll be a base hit. And Zarnowski delivers with a one-out single here in the top of the second. And we got all kinds of things today. Cameras gliding and everything. Feel like any more wind, we're about to set sail. Here's Rittler, the senior. Right down Broadway. Can't get any closer than that. It's 0-1. Dylan McAndrews, the senior quarterback for Cinnaminson, is on deck. However, I'm sure Clearview wants to avoid that. They're trying to get a double play here, but don't forget, on Saturday we will be advancing the Diamond Classic to the second round at Timber Creek High School in Blackwood. The game at 1 o'clock will be Rancocas Valley versus Bishop Eustis. Both of those games were played yesterday. RV beat Hamilton in a slugfest 14-10. Meanwhile, Cherry Hill East just barely fell to Bishop Eustis 3-2. Some other final scores from the other day as well. Cedar Creek fell to Mainland 16-6, and Haddon Heights beat Sterling 10-4. And as we said from today, Cherry Hill West fell to Gloucester Catholic 3-0. So the number 1 seed does advance. A lot of teams getting represented for the first ever time in this tournament. Middle Township making their first appearance today versus Cherokee. Sterling, which has been on a red-hot start at 12-2, made their first appearance in 13 years. That's a bunt. It's a foul ball. The count's 2-2. Here on a beautiful day. Can't get much better than this here at Clearview Regional. And, you know, listen, as we had a delay going into this game, there was a lot of chit-chatter. There was a lot of debate, if you will. But Cinnaminson got here, and I don't know if the late start hinders anybody in this situation. I think that it ends up making for a pretty serious product, because Cinnaminson is still, I mean, they made Clearview wait a little bit, but by no fault of their own. That happened in the Diamond Classic 2 years ago. Audubon and Buna covered them in the second round of the tournament. As this one's popped up over towards first base, Jurgen going over. It is caught behind the plate by Moisenberger. 2 down. This will bring up McAndrews. Man, wind is brutal. Have to literally hold the camera so that it doesn't glide to the left. I'm just very happy that we are not in early April and it's not 40 degrees doing this. I'm glad that it's 75, if anything.
I think I might abandon you if that was that case.
Oh yeah, I don't think you would have been able to get here. We wouldn't have had a broadcast. But here's McAndrews starting off with a 1-0 count. But like we said, this really could propel the offense. Any ball to the outfield kind of becomes a wild card here. Just because when you think about all the outfield problems that we've seen across South Jersey this year, and the fact that offense in general is way up, home runs are way up this year, it'll be very interesting to see. They'll throw down to second base, not going to be in time. Again, I'm apologizing for the camera shakes, but there isn't really too much we can do about it. It's natural.
Dust storm in left field.
Yeah. Somebody get the Pueblo. Dealing with a 2-0 count to McAndrews. Strike call, 2-1. Balls, 1 strike to the 9-hitter McAndrews. Swing and a miss there, 2-2. Clearview will bat Moisenberger, O'Mara, and Jurgen. 6, 7, and 8 in the bottom of the second. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner on second for Cinnaminson. And the pitch. Inside. Got away from Moisenberger a little bit, but he corrals it in without any damage, and it's 3-2. We would turn the lineup back up to the top for Logan Hamill if the inning continues, but we got to get there first. Three-two. That's grounded. Out to third. It's a little dribbler. They shovel it. No, excuse me, it went into left field. I didn't see the ball there. That'll be a base hit. Couldn't tell where that ball went just because of the wind. It ended up catching us by surprise. Now we turn the lineup back over to Hamill. Back up to Hamill here. He popped out to short his first time. Strike called, 0-1. Right down the middle there. One. Hamill, the catcher in today's contest. The senior, 304 career hitter. 302 last year, 308 this year. And now a strike called, 1-2. Had his first career home run rather recently, April 17th versus Woodstown in a 6-2 win there. 9 RBIs, 16 for 52 with a .462 slugging percentage. So No stolen bases, though, which is a bit of an odd spot for the leadoff man, but being the catcher in a leadoff spot is also kind of a strange predicament for the first-year head coach, Alex Injayan, one of many assistants at Cherry Hill West under longtime head coach there, Dan McMaster. Bo Gray, another one that runs the American Legion team in the summer. Injan moved to Cinnaminson after Eric Teasdale left, their head coach for 4 years from 2021 to 2024. The two-strike pitch from Dell. Curveball popped up. This will stay in the infield. Jurgen yields to Swan, and the inning is over. Again, Cinnaminson leaves 2 runners on. They've got 4 hits, but no runs to show for it. Through 1.5 here at the View. No score. Bottom of the second inning, no score. Clearview shutting down Cinnaminson here. 4 hits, but no runs. Strike called. This is something. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this before. Even at Rutgers Camden.
We've been in torrential downpours, but nothing with this kind of wind.
Yeah. Well, it also doesn't help, even though there's trees around us, this is basically a flat field. If you look behind you at home plate, this ball's hit into shallow center field, going over Harvey instead. The center fielder can't get there. We told you the wind would be a problem. Throw down to second, not in time. And that is going to be a 2-base hit for Moisenberger. Technically, no error can be called on that play. But the center fielder, McAndrews, couldn't come up with it. And now Clearview puts a runner in scoring position just like that. But yeah, if you look behind you at home plate here, you can see there's what's known as the bog. It's behind the plate, and there's a whole bunch of trees back there, and there's a whole bunch of trees over there, but when you go into the outfield, it's completely flat. And then you see the same thing over in right center field as well. This is the same issue that RCSJ has, the Gloucester campus down in Deptford Township. As that's a bunt, back in front of the mound, they will throw to third. It is not in time. Got in there, and a bunt single off the bat of O'Mara brings up Pet Jurgen with 2 on and nobody out. But the point, moreover, of what we were trying to say was that, you know, when you're talking about how you get those kind of windy days, it's because you're basically creating a wind tunnel. That's basically why this is how it is. to Jurgen, first baseman here for Clearview. Throw over to first, not in time. So just to recap, since that all happened very fast, Moisenberger doubled on a miscue to center. And then O'Mara got a bunt single. So Clearview has their first hits of the game. They had 2 walks in the first inning. Neither team scored. But Alessandroni still working hard here with runners on the corners and nobody out. There's a ground ball. This could be 2, 6, 4, 3. They do turn a double play, but the run does score. And Clearview's got their first of the diamond, and it's 1-0. Well, if there's one guy you don't want to ground to, it's Noah Harvey. He's going to get it done no matter what, and he turns the double play there. However, Jurgen, not completely lost there, gets the run home. If you're Clearview, can't be mad about that. It's a windy day. If you could just put the ball in play, that's kind of how it matters. Moisenberger scores. O'Mara was out at second, and now you set it up for Zwan. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's the 9-hitter for Clearview. Here's the pitch. Fastball, 1-2. 1-2. Grounded out to first base. It is a fair ball, and the inning is over. Clearview gets a run on a 6-4-3 double play. Cinnaminson, though, glad that they limited the damage there off the glove of Noah Harvey. It's 1-0 after 2 here at Mullica Hill. Tyler Dell still out for the top of the third. Clearview got their first run on a double play, however, nothing more, as Alessandroni leads us off in the top half of the third. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you could book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Alessandroni gets a strike call, 0-1. Alessandroni, as we said, committed to Rutgers Camden. Not sure whether as a hitter or as a pitcher, but that's a line drive. That will go into center field for a base hit. So he's 2 for 2, double and a single. Cinnaminson doesn't have any runs to show for it, but they're going to get down there and going to try to pick up the pieces on offense. They do have now their 5th hit of the game. They left 2 runners on apiece in the first and second. And now here's Noah Harvey, committed to the Spiders, as he'll look to get the offense fired up here. Again, this is a game that is really due for a lot of offense considering the wind. Here's the first pitch to Harvey. That one is down, 1-0. Harvey, the senior, also a 1,000-point scorer in basketball for Mike Freeze and the Pirates. He's a .326 career hitter, 72 for 221, .462 career slugging percentage. This year hitting .286 with he's got 62 career walks. Gets a strike that time, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss. One ball, two strikes. Throw back to first, not in time. Outside. Two balls, two strikes. Throw back to first again, not in time. This game could very well turn into a battle of pickoffs and who is going to be, it's a game of chicken. 2-2, grounded out towards short, picked up, throw to second. Ooh, his foot got jammed on the bag. They do get the out. Alessandroni is out. Harvey reaches at first. That'll bring up Crisp here with one away. Every time somebody slides into that bag, there's like a plume of dirt that just gets crossed over into left field. That'll be scored as a 6-4 fielder's choice. And now Crisp is the batter. He lined out to the pitcher in his first at-bat on a beautiful diving catch. By the way, a high-scoring contest in the Diamond Classic with Eastern leading Doan Academy 6-4 in the second inning. Also, Bordentown leads Shawnee 1-0 in the top of the fourth. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, that's a strike. 0-1. In non-Diamond Classic action in the Colonial Conference, Haddon Heights leads Collingwood 4-1. One ball, one strike to Crisp. 5 hits for the Pirates, but at the moment, no runs to show for it. Crisp, a .272 career hitter, this season batting .279. 5 RBIs, 12 for 43, and 11 walks, 5 stolen bases. Crisp, fly ball. Popped up down the first base line, and it'll go out of play. Count is still 2-2 here to Crisp. Two strikes to the senior Crisp. Did he go? They're going to say he struck out, and the runner does get down to second base. So Harvey advances, but now with 2 away, Dell picks up his 3rd strikeout. And it'll now be the sophomore, Jacob DeJoseph. So Harvey in scoring position, I think a little dribbler, or a little blooper rather, gets him in. But we'll have to see. Swing and a miss. Again, this would just be big for Dell. He's a big energy guy. Somebody that's a little bit soft-spoken, but he delivers with results. A 2.09 career ERA, an ERA under 1 going into the contest today. That one is popped up foul, and it's very quickly 0-2 here to DeJoseph. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 for Clearview in the bottom of the 3rd. Wood, Cardeal, and Reeder. Time called at the plate. Start of the game was 4:30, which actually a lot of North Jersey teams play at 4:30, like up in Union County and Bergen County. It's not uncommon. As there's strike 3. Dell gets him looking and gets back-to-back to squash the threat. Clearview hanging on here in the top of the 3rd. We go to the bottom half, 1-0 Pioneers. Top of the 4th here at Clearview. Oh, never mind. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I tricked my producers. I told them we were going to trivia time. I would be incorrect. I've just been all over the place today. I apologize. We've got Clearview batting in the bottom half of the 3rd. They do lead 1-0. As it is 1, 2, and 3. At least that part I got right. Wood, Cardeal, and Reeder. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. Wood struck out his first time. Outside, 1-1. Clearview, 1 run on 2 hits. They walked twice in the first, but got 2 hits across on a Moisenberger double and an O'Mara single. And then again, the Jurgen double play has been the product of the only run today. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, didn't go, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. All fastballs here from Allison Droney. Gets that one to go, 2-2. This time breaks. And the scoreboard didn't have the right count. That's ball 4. Not our scoreboard, the scoreboard right behind us here at Clearview, out in left center field. This will be Chase Cardeal, the left fielder.
No, folks, we're not coming to you from a Navy carrier with a jet fighter taking off. That's the wind.
That's correct. It's outside 1-0. Cardeal in a 1-0 Clearview game. Again, they got their first run. Hold on here. Throw over to first, not in time. A lot of pickoffs here between Dell and Alessandroni. I mean, hey, there's been basketball games played on Navy Carriers before. I wouldn't put it past them to put a baseball game on one, but there's a strike called. It's 1-1. Another throw over. Back when we were at, I want to say it was Kingsway Gloucester Catholic, they kept throwing over to first, and then somebody in the grandstand said, you know, you're supposed to throw to the batter, not to the runner. I keep thinking of that in my head because the Clearview student section is here, and they're here to give moral support, if you want to call it that, to the Pioneers this afternoon. They were here on opening day versus Williamstown, and honestly, I mean, they might be the only active student section to have a prolonged presence at baseball games. You see it in college at the Division I level, especially in the SEC. They treat it differently over there, but and then you hear over there one of the students chirping, not working. That one is a foul ball down the left field line. But yeah, I mean, you get student sections for football, you get student sections for basketball. You don't really see that for baseball. A lot of the times the students feel a little bit maybe unmotivated in that kind of scenario. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's just because baseball is relatively unappealing to the average Gen Z. As there's a fly ball left field, this has got a chance to go. The wind will send this one out of here. 2-run home run, Chase Cardale. We've got a deal for you. It's a 2-run home run. Clearview sends it out of the yard. 3-0 Pioneers. And even though we're in the Diamond Classic, that was a swing of gold. Out to left field, it cleared the walkway and left hit the JV fence. And it's a 3-0 ball game. That was a beautiful swing right there. Certainly not a conventional one. But Clearview has woken up as a swing changes the complexity of this ball game. 3-zip. Here's Reeder now. That's the third home run we've seen at Clearview this year. Markison and Dell both homered in the opening day win, 14-1. Here's the pitch. Now Reeder launches a ball. This is out to left center field. It's going to be headed our way. Back to back. Braden Reeder almost hit the broadcast booth. Back to back jacks. You can thank Mother Nature. The wind is in the Pioneers' favor. 4-0. These guys are fired up. And Clearview has left the building in back-to-back at-bats. 4-0. Oh, my goodness. Well, I think Tyler Dell is a very high expectation to clear here. Back-to-back homers. Braden Reeder, the commit to the Jefferson Rams, homers to left center. Here's the pitch. That one's high and away. Strike called. 2-1. For Cardale, the sophomore, that was his second career home run. He hit one versus RV at home. This one's fouled back. And then for Braden Reeder, the senior, waiting for that stat to load up real quick. That was also his second career home run. Hit one versus PVI outside. I mean, even when Clearview hit their 2 homers in March, still very spread out. That got this ballpark on fire. And that's strike 3. Dell goes down on strikes. 1 away. Here's Batista. 1-0. Like I said, Tyler Dell had a very high bar to clear. Back-to-back batters at a home run. And Dell himself homered on opening day versus Williamstown. That one is up and away. Strike called on a breaking ball by Allison Droney. He's got a 3-1 count here. I mean, big props for Allison Droney, giving up back-to-back home runs and then striking out the next batter who also is a power threat. That's not easy. It's not easy to come back from that, as that'll be a ground ball out for the second out of the third. But it's not easy to give up in a high school level 2 home runs in a row and then get yourself to a meaningful composure to strike out the next guy and get Batista to ground out. There's some pitchers where in that situation they would have spiraled. They would have lost their composure and would have lost all sense of direction. One ball, one strike, bases clear here with the second out. Outside. Dribbler foul, and it's 2-2. Up and in there, full count. Oh wow, Audubon has overtaken Egg Harbor Township. They lead 12-6. That's line to left. Oh, it hit the left fielder in the chest. It'll drop. The left fielder came on a little bit hard there. And Moisenberger has his second hit. So Moisenberger 2 for 2, as this inning has been full of fireworks. Running for him at first will be number 1, Reese Anderson. Here's O'Mara now. Way up and in there. Little chin music that time, and the Clearview dugout responds accordingly. 1-0. Up and into O'Mara. O'Mara singled in his first at-bat, was thrown out at second on a fielder's choice. 1-1. 2-0 is high, 3-0. Just making up counts as we go. Next batter would be Jurgen if the inning continues. There's 2 outs, 1 runner on after the base hit by Moisenberger. And the 3-0. Fastball catches the zone on the inside corner, 3-1. Bit of a green light there. Clearview up 4-0. 2 home runs in the inning, back-to-back off the bat of Cardiel and Reeder. Another one, a good get back here by Allison Droney, was down 3-0, now gets 2 fastballs to catch the zone for the Rutgers Camden commit. And listen, if you're going to pitch to the next level, you need that kind of resiliency and bravery through adversity. That one's foul. I talk about it sometimes before. I've said in private in regards to some pitchers from other teams that I'm like, I don't know if they're ready for the next level because they hit adversity and then they end up just hitting a brick wall. Alessandroni's able to run through it, even with those home runs. Here's the 3-2, way up and in there. O'Mara gets the free pass. It's back-to-back base runners. And you wonder if Cinnaminson, in their game yesterday versus Delran, could have a stretched thin bullpen. As Alex Injayan goes out to meet with Alessandroni, make sure everybody's on the same page. Clearview dugout is playing crickets to, I guess, poke a little fun here. But it'll be the 8-hitter Jurgen, the first baseman. Again, he contributed to the first run of the ball game on a 6-4-3 double play in the bottom half of the second. I've seen some teams do crickets, I've seen some teams do Jeopardy music, and Alessandroni will stay out there. So here's Jurgen, dealing with 2 runners on and 2 outs in the bottom half of the third, in an already electric inning for Clearview. Alex Injayan, after the conference with Alessandroni, first pitch strike there, 0-1. Injayan, a 2012 grad of Cherry Hill West, an all-conference athlete, and again, one of the longtime assistants there. Again, Bo Gray is another one under McMaster there. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Clearview with 2 runners on. And a strike on the inside corner. Jurgen seems to disagree, but the damage is done. Back-to-back jacks, including one from Chase Cardeal and another from Braden Reeder. They go for a 2-step here in Clearview as they now lead 4-0 over the Pioneers, rather over the Pirates.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Opening day win, 14-1. Here's the pitch. Now Reeder launches a ball. This is out to left center field. It's going to be headed our way. Back to back. Braden Reeder almost hit the broadcast booth. Back to back jacks. You. Top of the 4th inning. Cinnaminson 0, Clearview 4. It's been a wild game as Clearview hit back-to-back home runs. In the bottom half of the third, 8 men came to bat for the Pioneers. It'll be Bobrick, Zarnowski, and Rittler. Bobrick struck out his first time. Flied down the right field line. It'll go out of play. Hit the brick wall back there. It's 1-2. Zarnowski had a base hit in the second. Cinnaminson has 5 hits. They just don't have any runs to show for it, as Dell has mostly shut them down. Breaking ball, up and in. Haddonfield in the final beat Shallock 10-4. Martin Faust got the win. Luke Pokrovsky picks up the loss. Going to the bottom of the fourth, Bordentown leads Shawnee 3-0. I had a feeling that game was going to be really good. If it weren't for the fan vote, I think that was another contender. That was like the last game that I chopped off the list in terms of going there. I would like to thank everybody who voted in the fan poll. We had over 700 votes in our on our social media platforms. 236 voted for Clearview. Egg Harbor Township and Audubon finished in second with 211 votes. It's very rare that my alma mater loses a fan vote when it's included, but Clearview showed out, and that will be a free pass to Bobrick. Let's take a look at today's DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, outside of the state of California, which U.S. state has produced the most Major League Baseball alumni? Is it A, Florida, B, Pennsylvania, C, New York, or D, Ohio? The answer will be revealed in the bottom half of the fourth inning. So now here's Jude Zarnowski. Dealing with a tough spot here for Cinnaminson, because now that they have a base runner on and nobody out, you know, we all talk about the old-fashioned phrase, there's no excuse not to score. With 7, 8, and 9 at the dish for Cinnaminson, Tyler Dell seems to be in a groove. He struck out 4, including to Joseph twice, as there's a ground ball. This will be put in play. Dell, at the seat of his pants, throw to first is in time. They got him there, very close play. And he's out for the first out. It does advance the runner down to second. That being Bobrick, the freshman. Umpires are conferencing here, and usually on an out safe call like this, usually it means one umpire thought he was safe and the other thought he was out. I mean, seriously, the base umpire called him out. It was a very close play. They do confirm the runner is out after review. Yeah, close call there. I mean, especially on a little dribbler like that, I liked what Reeder did there, and I liked what Tyler Dell did there. He did the typical pitcher thing. He dropped basically to the floor so that Reeder would have a clear sight line of first base. Not every pitcher does that. Dell went above and beyond there. He dropped down, made sure that Reeder had a clear line of sight to first base, and then got the throw and got the out. So that'll be scored as a 5-3. One away here for Luke Rittler, the senior third baseman. And here's the first pitch. Up and in, almost got him.
Saw a cloud of dust on that one.
Indeed, and it's 1-0. By the way, Audubon still leads Egg Harbor Township 12-6 in the fourth. That went home down the right field line, and it's 1-1. And another strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here on a beautiful day at Clearview. Spring has sprung. We can definitely attest to that. Even with the windy day, as another cloud of dust kicks up from home plate. Breaking ball. Did not get it right at the letters. Actually had a conversation with John Gallante, who is here, one of the supervisors for South Jersey Umpiring Union, Tri-State, or not Tri-State, one of the umpiring unions here in South Jersey. There's a swing and a miss. Rittler down on strikes for the second out, and talking to him about this Diamond Classic and the quote-unquote rulings. For a long time, even before Major League Baseball did it in the Diamond Classic, there was a pitch clock. I believe it was just 20 seconds flat, but they got rid of it because part of it being an umpire shortage, and another part of it being the fact that in this kind of situation, it just kind of aggravated some of the teams a little bit. And the way we were kind of described about it was that the umpires, there would be an assigned umpire to be a timer for each game. It's not like the base umpire or the home plate umpire will be responsible for that. But it's just that there was a point where things got so broken down that teams just literally stopped listening to the timer. Basically became another cog in the system. And they said, well, if teams aren't going to follow it, and if the umpiring crews don't feel like enforcing it, we're not going to do it. And that's basically how it's been. Throw back the second, not in time. And I actually don't think that the timing stuff is a bad rule. I think it's a way to get some uniqueness into the Diamond Classic. But in baseball, there's only so many rules you can change before it becomes a completely different game. In basketball, you can change a whole bunch of rules. Like in FIBA play, there's the 3-second violation in the paint, or at least there's no 3-second violation in the paint. In the NBA, there is. In FIBA international play, there's no offensive interference. In the NBA, there is. You can't really pick and choose with baseball rules. 99% of them are universal. Or I should say 95% of them, let's say. Strike call. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runner on second. And boy, this will be heartbreaking for Cinnaminson again if they cannot score. Again, they have 5 hits on the day. This walk makes for their 7th base runner. And still no runs to show for it. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. High chopper out to third. Picked up. Fired by Reeder. It is in time. Oh, boy. Couple of close calls over at first base, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. I don't know if they'll be too happy about that one. It's 4-0 Clearview.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
New pitcher for Cinnaminson, it's Charlie Kind. If there's going to be any successor to Anthony Alessandroni, it'll be Charlie Kind. He's got a 1.88 ERA, 22 and a third innings this year, 18 Ks, 7 walks, 6 earned runs. Let's kick off the bottom of the fourth with our DWB trivia time. Today's question is, out of the state of California, which U.S. state has the most MLB players of all time? Is it A, Florida? Hold on here, pop up. Behind the plate and caught by Hamill, one away. Anyways, the options are A, Florida, B, New York, Pennsylvania, C, New York, and D, Ohio. My producer on the day, Donna Wilkins, your guess.
My guess is A.
Your guess will be incorrect.
Oh.
It would be B,
I'm always
Pennsylvania.
wrong.
You're not always wrong.
I gotta read up on
Well, let's show the answer to the
my
folks
trivia.
at home.
Oh, sorry, folks.
And there you go. Florida is in 4th, New York is in 3rd, and Ohio, I believe, is in 6th.
So not only was I wrong, but I picked the worst answer.
Well, no, Florida was I think 4th, so you didn't pick the worst off answer. Ground ball to 3rd. Let's cut that there as the throw to 1st is going to be scooped. A little bobble, but it's in time. And that's very quickly the second out of the bottom of the 4th, as Swan and Wood are both retired now for Cardiel. If you remember what Chase Cardiel did in the bottom of the 3rd, you'll have a sharp memory. At a 2-run home run to left. As here's the first pitch to Cardiel. Beautiful looping curveball there from Kind, 0-1. By the way, some more Diamond Classic updates. Eastern leads Doan Academy 11-4 in the 6th inning. They scored 6 runs in the 2nd. First inning ended up being a 7-4 lead. Or, I'm sorry, no, they messed it up there. They ended up scoring 3 in the 1st and 3 in the 2nd. There was a ground ball out to 2nd. Throw across by DeJoseph is in time. Side retired. 1-2-3, Clearview retired in order, and Cinnaminson will look to pick up the pieces with the bats. They trail 4-0 after 4 in the Diamond Classic. Top of the 5th inning, this broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and more. You can visit today or 7 days a week at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon. 4-0, Clearview over Cinnaminson. As the first pitch will miss away. Dell still out there for the 5th. Sorry about the camera shakes, folks. Having to adjust things here in the wind. Strike called there. Clearview, after a fiery 3rd inning, went down in order without an issue in the 4th. It's 1, 2, and 3. Hamill, Allison, Droney, and Harvey batting for the Pirates. Dell steps off. Don't forget our next broadcast will be tomorrow night, 6 o'clock from Chemung, with an Olympic Conference matchup between the Morristown Quakers and the Seneca Golden Eagles in Seneca's senior night. First pitch at 6 p.m. And then on Saturday, we'll be at Timber Creek for 2 games in the Diamond Classic. We know the 1 o'clock game will be Rancocas Valley versus Bishop Eustis. Meanwhile, the 4 o'clock game will be either Haddon Heights. Well, we know Haddon Heights will be in it, but the winner of them and the winner of Absegami and Delsey, which plays right now, actually, at Delsey. Didn't get a score update from them, but count is 2-2 here with nobody out in the top of the 5th. So there's a swing and a miss. 5 Ks for Dell. And Hamill is the first casualty of the 5th here. I mean, the more Dell seems to be settled in, I think the harder it will be for Cinnaminson to win this game. Clearview got out to an early start. Both teams left runners on in the 1st inning, and I had a feeling that this game was going to be very offense-heavy with the wind, but it hasn't really been that way. I've been a little bit surprised that there hasn't been more scoring, just because when the wind is blowing straight out the center field at 20 miles per hour, if you've ever been to Wrigley Field, you know how that feels like. I mean, it is almost guaranteed you're going to see a high-scoring game. But in this situation, both teams have been pretty conservative with putting the ball in the air. Both teams have put the ball in the ground a whole bunch, and a lot of 5-3 and 6-3 and even 4-3 groundouts. And also a handful of strikeouts. That one's inside, 2-1. So where this game gets a little bit convoluted is where you start to factor in the fact that, well, I mean, again, Cinnaminson had 5 hits, but no runs. That ball's hit out towards straightaway center field. And it's caught for the 2nd out. Tracked down without any issue out there in center field. And there is 2 away. Yeah, after McAndrews messed it up in the 2nd, I like to say in this kind of situation, no fly ball is safe. There's no such thing as a can of corn out here, and plays like that seem to reinforce it, but plays from earlier seem to debunk it. Here is Harvey. Harvey has reached base twice today. He singled in the 1st inning and reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. That one skips away, 1-0. Alex Injayan, 11-5. In his 1st year as a head coach, again, we said it like a broken record, he's been a long-time assistant under Dan McMaster at Cherry Hill West. Always a winning program over there. We'll be seeing them on Monday in more Olympic action versus the Bishop Eustis Crusaders. Up and away, or up and in rather. And that wind, after it started to die down for about an inning, is back in full force.
I think it's worse.
Not really. Time called by Dell. Cinnaminson again 2-4 in the BCSL Liberty Division. Right now headlined by Northern Burlington, the number 4 seed in this year's Diamond Classic, as there's a strike. Started off with a 2-2 start, wins over Pennsauken and Maple Shade, losses to NBC and Bordentown. But they are 8-2 in their last 10. Wins over Delran, Haddon Township, and Woodstown in their first 3. A loss to Northern Burlington, as that'll be a free pass to Harvey. He'll reach base for the 3rd time today. And then in that 5-game winning streak we mentioned earlier, wins over Burlington Township and Seneca. And then a sweep of the Joe Lang tournament, JCIT and Pittman. A 17-7 win over Holy Cross. Their last loss came yesterday. 4-3 to Delran, a walk-off. They then play Florence tomorrow at home. Another BCSL cross-division matchup. Here's Gideon Crisp, the first baseman. Grounds this one out to second. Picked up by Swan. Throw to first is no problem, and the sign is retired. A walk to Harvey yields no damage, and Dell is scoreless through 5. Go to the bottom half. Clearview still looking to get some insurance here at the Bog. 4-0 Pioneers. Charlie Kine still out there for the bottom half of the 5th. So we've got Reeder, the batter. He homered in his last at-bat. Good news is for Cinnaminson is that in their next 8 games, their final 8 games of the season in the month of May, 6 of them are at home. They're home to Florence, and then home to Morristown in an Olympic crossover on the 10th, another Olympic crossover with Lenape, a night game versus Riverside at Rutgers-Camden on the 15th, and then Notre Dame. So some CVC action, some Olympic, a little bit of everything. Then they go over to the Colonial to play Sterling on the 21st, and Nottingham to close out the season. The 2 road games, one versus New Egypt on the 5th, a Shore Conference team. They used to be in the BCSL, but even though New Egypt is in a very vastly populated Burlington County, they moved to the Shore Conference to closer align, to align closer with teams in that conference, like Keyport, Keansburg, Asbury Park, Henry Hudson, Manville. Just off the top of my head, I mean, we don't cover Point Pleasant Beach, too. There's a lot of very small towns and very small high schools up there, just like around here in South Jersey, or at least closer to home in like Camden County. You've got a lot of very small high schools from Audubon, Haddon Heights, Sterling, Collingswood, West Deptford, that kind of thing. Just all along that area, there's a lot of small high schools. And it's in a very concentrated area. So New Egypt joining the Shore Conference kind of changes things up a little bit. That's what they did for all sports. They are 4-6 in the C South Division. But with Cinnaminson's earlier schedule being chocked full of division games, in fact, 6 of their last 8, as this will be a walk to Reeder, 6 of their final 8 games of the season will be non-conference. New Egypt in the Shore, Morristown and Lenape in the Olympic, Notre Dame in the CVC, Sterling in the Colonial, and then Nottingham again in the CVC. And then Clearview 8-4, they still have a lot to go. They play Kingsway twice, still have to play Gloucester Catholic. So even though Cinnaminson has 8 games until the end of the season, Clearview still has 12, and this is their 13th game of the season, of the regular campaign, in addition to any other Diamond games that may be added on for Saturday. That's a base hit for Tyler Dell. Moves the runners over, and now we've got 2 on with nobody out off of Kine, the left-hander. And now it's Batista. Ryan Batista, again, this is one of the reasons why Charlie Kind is in this game. Lefty-lefty matchups are already a convoluted subject in the major leagues, but in high school it's 10 times worse. At least just in the cases of the batter, because a lot of times they don't face lefties. There are some batters who, maybe 5% of their high school careers will be versus left-handers, and it's not easy for them. The runner at first, pinch running, or at least substitute running for Dell, is number 4, Dom Abate, the junior. Batista 0 for 2, 2 groundouts today, as he looks to keep things rolling for the Pioneers. Squares up to bunt, and that's the best thing you can do in a lefty-lefty situation. However, that one is foul. Oh and 1. Here's the pitch. Another square up to bunt. This one was a fastball high. Another time squaring the bunt. This time, another one foul, this time in the opposite direction. Just joining us, this has been a good game. Clearview up 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. They've held Cinnaminson scoreless even with 6 hits on the board. And that is strike 3. That is exactly what Charlie Kind wanted, and he got it. Didn't have to work too hard to get the first couple of strikes because, well, Batista was squaring up to bunt. Fouled 2 of them off, got 1 to take, then struck him out looking. It's the first strikeout for Kind, who enters the game after Allison Droney went 4 innings. He's responsible for all 4 runs, and he struck out 3 batters in his ventures. First pitch is a strike to Moisenberger, the catcher. Oh, 1, another looping curveball catches the zone. 0-2 now. As we said, Clearview still has 12 games on the slate after today. They're right around the halfway mark of their season. While some teams are kind of going over the hill and some are just a little bit closer. That one's outside. Again, 2 games versus Kingsway, going Cape Atlantic style, back-to-back, May 2nd and May 5th. Gloucester Catholic on the 7th, Lower Cape May on the 8th, Egg Harbor on the 10th, Timber Creek on the 12th. 1-2. Floated. This one's in play out towards short. Oh! He made the catch. Now they're going to flip it back to second for a double play. A beautiful play at second base by Cinnaminson. And he flips it back to the future Spider Noah Harvey, who finishes the job. A rare 4-6 double play ends the threat, and a web gem all around. We're through 5 here at Mullica Hill. It is still 4-0 Pioneers. 10th. Timber Creek on the 12th. 1-2. Floated. This one's in play out towards short. Oh! He made the catch. Now they're going to flip it back to second for a double play. Tyler Dell still working here in the top of the 6th. As Cinnaminson trails Clearview 4-0. The magnum opus of Clearview's offense today has been the home run, 2 of them. Off the bat of Chase Cardeal and Braden Reeder back-to-back. Would be a 1-0 game without them. As DeJoseph, Bobrick, and Zarnowski are the batters for the Pirates in the top half of the 6th. Excuse me, yes, top half of the 6th, whatever I said. There's a ground ball out to short. Beautiful play. And a nice scoop. They say, we're not sure here. Umpire's calling for a conference at first. So I think they're unsure what the call is. The runner is at first, so I think they're looking for a better look at it. And it looks like they do confirm the call, so the runner is safe. That will be scored an infield single for DeJoseph after back-to-back strikeouts looking. Grounder, shortstop. They yield to second. They throw to first. Runner did get the foot down, or first baseman did get the foot down. Jurgen does advance to Joseph to second. And now Cinnaminson has a runner in scoring position. Again for Rittler here, or rather, excuse me, DeJoseph singled. He advanced to second. It was a 6-3 ground out. Now brings up Zarnowski. Rittler would be next. That one's down. Oh, it did go to the backstop. It's a deep backstop here at Clearview, and it advances to Joseph to third. So now the count's 1-0, and Cinnaminson's got a runner 90 feet away. Let's take a walk through the week ahead on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Again, tomorrow will be Morristown at Seneca in Olympic play, 6 o'clock. That one is dribbled. It's going to be an out at first. Zwan looked like he was going to catch it, but instead he let the ball drop in a way to yield the runner to third and make him stay instead of going for a complicated catch. That is going to be scored as a 4-3 ground out, and there's 2 away now for Rittler. On Saturday, we've got the second round of Diamond Classic action at Timber Creek. We know the first game will be Bishop Eustis and Rancocas Valley at 1 p.m. The count's 1-1. In the dirt there. Next up would be McAndrews if the inning continues, but we've got a 2-1 count here. Another one cracked out towards first. Jurgen going over, sliding, did not make the catch, almost crashed into the fence. Does appear to be okay. Don't think he made much contact with the fence, but he ended up not coming up with the ball. Sunday, we've got the American Ball Hockey Alliance Regionals all day, rain or shine, at Belmar. And then Monday, May 5th, we've got the Bishop Eustis Crusaders and the Cherry Hill West Lions at 4 o'clock. That one is up and in. Then we've got another night game on the horizon on Tuesday night, Woodstown versus Shalleck in the Elmer Classic from, well, none other than Elmer Little League Field. That one is floated out to third. They will throw it to first. They threw it over. Didn't matter anyway. I think he made the catch, which is what was confusing there. I'm not exactly sure what happened. They threw it to first. I think the runner was out either way, but the inning is over. Cinnaminson still left off the board. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Pioneers. Bottom of the 6th here at Clearview. Again, 4-0 Pioneers. A 3-run third was the majority of their offense. They got their first run across in the bottom of the 2nd on an RBI double play. Went 6-4 to 3 around the horn, and Jurgen ended up driving in the first run. But it's 7-8-9 for the Pioneers. O'Mara, Jurgen, and Swan, as that one's high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moves very quickly, 0-2 on back-to-back breaking balls. O'Mara has reached twice, a single and a walk. Hit out towards right field, it'll go out of play. And out of the ballpark. One, 2. Outside, 2-2. Clearview in their final 12 games of the season playing a gauntlet of out-of-town opponents. Lower Cape May on the 8th. That'll be at LCMR. As there's a swing and a miss. Batter is tagged out, and O'Mara is down on strikes for the first out. Here's Pat Jurgen. And then they play Egg Harbor Township at home on the 10th. Timber Creek's Tri-County 2. Actually used to be a member of the Tri-County Royal Division not too long ago. Bridgewater Raritan on May 15th. Audubon on May 16th. Then Collingswood on May 21st. And St. Augustine to close out the season on May 23rd. That will be our last regular season game of the season. I believe Chris Baker may be calling that game because we will not be... I'll be running a virtual crew that day. It's a 1-1 count here to Jurgen. 1 away. 4-0 Clearview. Score hasn't budged since the 3rd. And a hot shot out towards short. Harvey is there. Oh, he booted it, but he's going to get the out anyway at first. 2 down. And again, that's how a Division I baseball player and a Division I future athlete makes a mistake. Obviously, errors happen at all levels of the game, but he quickly realized it. He didn't quit. He didn't, pump fake and attempt to give it up. Threw it over to first, and his first baseman was still ready to make the play. That being Crisp. Cut fastball for a strike to Swan, the second baseman. First 3 for Cinnaminson in the top of the 7th. Will be 9-1-2. McAndrews, Hamill, and Allison Droney. Another one right to Harvey. This time does not hit the ground and instead meets his glove at chest level. We're through 6. Clearview looking for a date in the 2nd round of the 2025 Diamond Classic here on their home field. They lead 4-0 after 6. 6 innings gone, 1 to go here at Clearview Regional High School. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling. They recently held their Rowan After Hours event at Rowan University on Thursday, April 17th. You can find video highlights and video clips from their event on their YouTube channel, DAWG Pro Wrestling. And for future events, more information on them, you can visit dawgprowrestling.com. Dylan McAndrews leads us off in the top of the 4th inning as this one is skied out towards center field. It's hit pretty well. Going back, it's over the head of the center fielder. This is going to be extra bases for McAndrews. And he's got a leadoff double to kick off the 7th. As McAndrews, who's had an up-and-down ball game, contributes with Cinnaminson's 6th hit. Actually, excuse me, their 7th. And just the 2nd extra base hit of the day. The question is, will it result in a run scoring? And that's what's going to be the make or break at the end of the day. Because if you can hit the ball, that's great. But you have to do that enough times to score a run. And they are going to call a balk on Tyler Dell. So now the runner gets to 3rd without issue. I guess Nick Core is not going to argue it or something, but McAndrews on that double. Now immediately at 3rd for the first pitch to Logan Hamill. That was his 4th extra base hit of the year. Hamill, the senior catcher, batting in the leadoff spot as we turn the lineup card back over, takes a quick strike 2. 308 hitter this year, 9 RBIs, 16 for 52, 1 homer, 6 extra base hits, 5 doubles. No balls, 2 strikes. Dell kicks and delivers. Oh, that ball got away. It'll go all the way to the Clearview dugout, and Cinnaminson is on the board, 4-1. They score on a wild pitch. Clearview appealed to see if he swung. They said no, because it was all kind of all over the place. It looked like he check swung, but they said he didn't go around, and McAndrews very quickly comes around to score. Good news is for Clearview, though, is that the bases are clear now, but still nobody out with 1 run across. There's a ground ball right back to Dell on his own volition. Underhand toss to Jurgen, and there's 1 out. So Hamill taps out right to the pitcher. He's 0 for 4 today. And now there's 1 away for Anthony Alessandroni. In the 2025 Diamond Classic, this has been a good game. It trails inside to Alessandroni. Again, Gloucester Catholic shut out Cherry Hill West 3-0. We do have some more final scores in. St. Augustine beat St. Augustine beat Vineland 13-3. Morristown beat Holy Spirit 10-2. Haddonfield beat Shalleck 10-4. Northern Burlington beat Deptford 8-1, and that's all we've got. Haddon Heights beat Sterling yesterday 10-4. Mainland beat Cedar Creek 16-6. Again, 2 more scores from yesterday. Hamilton fell to Rancocas Valley 13-10, and then Bishop Eustace eked out Cherry Hill East 3-2. The winner of this game is likely to or will play Gloucester Catholic at Ocean City. And again, why are a team from Gloucester County and a team from Camden County playing an hour away from each other? I have no idea, but that's inside, ball 4. Alessandroni reaches, and you wonder if that leash is going to be tight for Nick Core. You just have to wonder what the situation's going to be for Nick Core. Doesn't have anybody warming up at the moment, but they could be down there in the bog, and we wouldn't know it because the view's obstructed. But it's Noah Harvey. Some of the second-round matchups are already set. St. Augustine versus Morristown, and then Bishop Eustace versus Rancocas Valley. Northern Burlington is set to play Mainland. but 4 separate locations, 4 separate neutral sites are hosting second round games. Ocean City, Overbrook, Eastern, and Timber Creek. So 3 of the 4 are in Camden County. The 4th, well, it's an hour down the road in Ocean City. I just have a feeling after this year, depending on how the coaches react to the tournament, I have a feeling that there will be a lot of changes made. And if there's not a lot of changes made, I think the stardom and the feel of the Diamond Classic will change. And I hope that the change is for the better. The count is 3-0. Like I said, I'm completely fine with over 70 coaches voting in the poll. Because think about it, in the AP Top 25, those coaches and reporters vote. In the in the AP poll, coaches, I keep saying coaches, reporters from all over the country vote. In the coaches Top 25 poll, whether you're in the top 25 or not, a lot of the coaches still submit a vote. So I am a firm believer that everybody deserves a seat at the table. And well, Cinnaminson may just have a seat at the table here because they've got back-to-back walks, and Nick Core is coming out. If this is it for Tyler Dell, it would still be an incredible performance. 6 1/3. He struck out 6 and only allowed 1 run. They will take the ball from the right-hander. Nick Core gives him a hug, and a very nice ovation here from the Clearview faithful all around us. He'll get subbed out, and Tyler Dell will now be responsible for the 2nd and 3rd runs for Cinnaminson as we've got a DWB pitching change. Here in the top of the 7th, Dell is done after 6 1/3. We'll be right back in just a moment. Josh Jurgen is the pitcher for Clearview as he'll look to shut things down in the top of the 7th inning. So his brother Pat at first base. Now Josh Jurgen, the freshman, looks to shut the door here at the Bog in Mullica Hill. 2 on, 1 out. Double play could end it, but with Gideon Crisp, a home run would tie the game in a 4-1 ball game. Jurgen, in his rookie campaign, 16 1/3 innings, 22 strikeouts, 5 earned runs, and a grand total of a 2.14 ERA, all told. Here's the pitch. There's a strike called. He faces Crisp, who is 0 for 3. Strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out. This one is flied out towards right field. Going over Swan, calling for it, is the right fielder. Runner tags. Allison Droney will get down there as he hustles in the 3rd. Ball did get shuffled in the infield, and now runners will be on the corners with 2 outs. And the tying run is up. Well, the tying run has been up, but that situation still holds true for Jacob DeJoseph. So crisp flying out to right brings us to the last out. Stay tuned for the DWB post-game show presented by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or our dog of the game. Here's the pitch. No, low. Oh, messed up something with the camera there, my apologies. 1 ball, no strikes. Jurgen, a freshman versus another youngster, the sophomore to Joseph. Checks, doesn't go. It's 2-0. Throw over to first, not in time. To Joseph, a 286 hitter last year, a 286 hitter this year, 14 for 49. 1 home run in each of his freshman and sophomore campaigns. 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1. Much of the Clearview student section standing. Back over down the third base line. Some JV players, some football players, athletes of all kinds supporting the Pioneers. There's a strike called, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With a trip to Gloucester Catholic on the line for Saturday. Swing and a miss! Josh Jurgen slams the door. And even though they had a late rally, the Pioneers take this one 4-1. Clearview with their Diamond Classic first round victory as 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the third, 2 in the second, as a game that was delayed a half hour due to travel issues ends in a swift 2 hours and 3 minutes. Your player of the game, presented by Harper Driving School, is going to be, well, I think we got to go back to Tyler Dell again. Struck out 6 across 6 1/3, and that's where we'll close this thing in the regulation. We'll be right back for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting post-game show presented by Dog Pro Wrestling, the DAWG Pro Wrestling organization. As Cinnaminson falls to Clearview 4-1. We'll be right back. We've got our Dan Wilkins Broadcasting post-game show with our Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators dog of the game. It's Braden Reeder, the commit to Jefferson, homered in the third inning as a part of a back-to-back tandem with Cardeal in a 4-1 win in the Diamond Classic. Braden, this was a great game for the Pioneers all around. How'd you feel out there today?
I felt great. I mean, I felt the team brought enough energy out today. When we stepped on the field, I knew we were going to win. The energy was so high. Tyler had pitched a great game out there. Everyone just kept hitting the ball today. We just contributed as a team today.
It was so good for Clearview, especially with how you guys have been playing as of late. You guys held Gloucester Catholic to 2 runs. It was a 2-1 final, and you've been beating some good teams left and right. Clearview is a program that was on the up and up last year, and now they're here. You guys are here, 5-1 in the Tri-County Royal and a Diamond Classic win at home to show for it. That home run in the third, we talked about it a little bit on the way over, but you said you wasn't sure if it was going to go out, but the wind was carrying. What was your first thought as that ball left the bat in the third?
I mean, the pitcher just left the ball in a little bit. I thought I got a lot of barrel on that ball. I saw the center fielder just going back. I thought it was maybe going to hit the fence, and then I just saw it go right over the brick wall. I was ecstatic.
And, of course, you heard the celebrations as well. That would help. But, I mean, it's so much of an energy changer for this team. Cardeal homers, and then you go back-to-back. You guys looked like your heads were about to fall off out there. But, this is a big win for you guys. 11th seed in the Diamond Classic. You guys have another game versus Gloucester Catholic on Saturday. Very quick turnaround for the Pioneers. Not to mention, I believe, Kingsway tomorrow.
Yep.
So 3 games, 3 days. How do you feel you're prepared for the road trip?
I think we're ready. I think we're going to go with high energy from this game. I think this at a pretty high standard for us. We should get these next 2 games. We're going to come out throwing. We're going to come out playing our absolute tails off. So we're ready.
And also, one more question for you. For Nick Cord, this is his 2nd year here. Of course, Anthony Reagan was here for a couple of years. Now you're back under a new coach. And how does it feel with that change of leadership? You got to see Nick Cord work through it last year I believe it was 15-11-1 last year. Now you guys are 9-4. You enter his 2nd season as a head coach, and as a senior, feels like you guys couldn't be any better. How do you feel about his leadership and how you guys have worked together as a team?
No, I feel like he's made a big impact. I know last year we were off to a rough start. I think we were 0-7 to start, and then
came back.
Something just clicked, and then the chemistry just brought together, and we all just clicked as a team. I think Core has done a great job this year. He always prepares us for stuff. He's a great coach all around.
That's excellent to hear. Braden, thank you very much. We're going to do our little DWB tradition. We're going to have you sign the bottom of the scorecard, make it nice and big anywhere on the bottom there. Awesome. As Clearview takes down Cinnaminson 4-1 in the Diamond Classic first round. They'll be facing the Gloucester Catholic Rams on Saturday in the 2nd round at Ocean City. Braden, thank you very
awesome.
much.
Thanks,
go join
Dan.
your
Appreciate
team and
it.
have some fun. All right, thank you very much, Braden. That'll be all for us tonight as Clearview hits 2 home runs out to left and left center respectively to down the Cinnaminson Pirates in the first round of the Diamond Classic 4-1. Cinnaminson got a run back, but they couldn't get anything more and left 2 runners on to end the game. Again, Braden Reeder, our player of the game, who reached base all 3 times, had 2 walks and ended up homering in the third to really change the pace of the ball game. Again, our next broadcast will be tomorrow night, 6 p.m., a night game at Dingletown. Yes, that is the name of the place. It's at Chemong. It'll be the Morristown Quakers and the Seneca Golden Eagles at 6 p.m. And then 2 games on Saturday, RV and Bishop Eustis, and then Haddon Heights versus either Absegami or Delsey. From our entire crew here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane and Carson Rosso, my producer, Donna Wilkins. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow down in the deep, deep part of the woods at Seneca, Morristown and Seneca tomorrow. It's Cinnaminson 1, Clearview 4. Have a good one, folks.